This tax refund season, Metro PCS has an offer so good you'll want to shout it from the mountaintops.
Switch to Metro PCS, and get two 4G LTE phones for free.
Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free 4G LTE smartphones from brands like Samsung and LG. Only at Metro PCS. Limited time offer. Sales tax not included in phone price. After instant rebate. Coverage and services not available everywhere. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Blog Talk Radio.
I'm Sergeant Ramsey. I'm the one that called you. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry to call you. Listen, we had a report of a disturbance at your house, and there were shots fired. Is your husband Michael? Okay, I'm sorry to tell you, man. He's been killed. He's been killed, man. I'm sorry.
No, he's not.
Listen.
No.
Try to calm down. Listen.
No.
Right now, we need to get you to the station.
No.
We need to get you to our police station. I can't let you in, man. We have to do our job. If you want us to find his killer, okay, we need you to calm down. I'm going to need you to go with these detectives, okay? Does he have enemies? Is there anyone that would want to hurt him? Okay, who would want to hurt him? Witnesses said they saw a black male running from me. I can't let you see him, ma'am. Ma'am, I cannot do this right now. Ma'am, I can't do it. Detective Yopi, I need you to take her to the station. I can't. Ma'am, go with these detectives. If you want to help your husband, okay? If you want to help your husband, you need to go to the station with these gentlemen and tell us everything you know about who he knows, who he's connected to. Don't worry, we've already taken care of dogs with animal control for right now. Everything's under control. And we'll take care of everything else, okay? Thank you, guys.
And good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us here tonight on King Jordan Radio for Thursday night, February 25th, 2016. Please join us on our website, kingjordansportsandmedia.com, as well as please subscribe to us on iTunes. Tonight on the show, we'll talk about the latest in the Dalia Dippolito story that is back after a technicality with the jurors. Bill Cosby's wife was deposed Monday. We'll talk about that. The Michigan shooting, and now Erin Andrews, who was taped naked for all intents and purposes, is suing the hotel for money. We'll talk about that and more with our guests. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very privileged tonight to be joined with two world-renowned attorneys. First of all, coming back to us from the area of Seattle, she worked on the Amanda Knox case. She has been on every channel known to man, including NBC, CNN, Fox, you name it. She has been there, and also Court TV back in the day. A big welcome to one and only Ann Bremner. Good evening, Ann. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for the great introduction. You didn't mention I've been on King Jordan Radio many times. I'm happy to be.
Right. As you make your return to King Jordan Radio.
That's right.
Let's also introduce, also formerly with Court TV, seen on CNN, and basically an everyday person on the Great Nancy Grace Show. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a New York City defense attorney here in New York City. So if you ever need help, just look up our next guest. Criminal defense attorney Alex Sanchez joins us now. Alex, how are you?
Jordan, how are you? And it's always fun to be back, and I'm glad I'm on the show with Ann. She's always a lot of fun.
Likewise. Back at you, Alex. We go way back.
No question about it. Let's start with the Dalia Dippolito story. Here's some sound from today's show, and we'll talk on the other side.
Today, Wednesday, February 24th, 2016.
From NBC News, this is Today with Matt Lauer and Savannah Guthrie, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Coming up next, a Florida woman accused of trying to hire a hitman to kill her husband. She testifies for the first time and why she says it was all an act. Right after this.
We're back now at 7:43 with a new twist in a bizarre story we've been following for nearly 7 years.
Yeah, it's about a Florida woman who's accused of trying to hire a hitman to kill her then husband. And on Tuesday, she testified in the case for the very first time, and Natalie's been following it. Good morning.
That's right. Good morning, guys. Well, Dalia Dippolito took the stand during a hearing in a Palm Beach courtroom, claiming she's innocent. She says it was all an acting project that got way out of hand.
Dalia Dippolito breaking down after taking the stand for the first time in her own defense. The nearly 2-hour-long questioning centered around this undercover surveillance video, allegedly showing Dippolito in 2009 hiring a hitman to murder her husband, Michael.
You have to have an option to change your mind. Even if you change your mind, talking to him.
There's no changing. I'm positive, like 5,000% sure. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Dippolito's defense, she says she believed it was all part of a taping for an unnamed reality TV show.
That's all Mom had told you to say, right?
Yes, he told me to say that.
Yeah, 5,000% sure. Ready to go.
I needed to project confidence, and yeah, that's what he told me. I needed to make it look believable.
How soon could you do it?
I could do it Wednesday morning.
That hitman was actually an undercover police officer, filming the whole thing as part of a sting operation.
I'm sorry to tell you, ma'am, he's been killed.
Also caught on camera, Boynton Beach police outside a staged crime scene at the couple's home. Dippolito's reaction to news of her husband's staged murder seen here, as she's led off to her eventual arrest, with the footage making its way onto the TV show Cops.
We received a call that was transferred in to our detective bureau related to a woman who wanted to hire a hitman to kill her husband.
But Dippolito stands by her story.
Sure.
You don't have to, you made that one up.
Yeah.
That was part of the script?
Yeah.
In her 2011 trial, Dippolito was found guilty. She's been under house arrest ever since. But now she's gearing up for a new trial after it was determined a pool of prospective jurors had been tainted.
I don't care what you saw in that video between Dalia and the undercover informant. The fact of the matter is that any criminal investigation requires integrity. This was not a criminal investigation. Dalia Dippolito was set up, was entrapped.
In response, the Boynton Beach Police Department says, "We stand behind the principled work our detectives did on this investigation. We trust in our state attorney to successfully prosecute this case, and we're confident we have given his office sufficient evidence to meet the state's burden." Her ex-husband is staying quiet for now. For him, this is no act. It's a real-life drama, giving new meaning to the words, "Until death do us part."
Well, Dippolito's attorneys are urging the judge to dismiss the case. A ruling on that is expected in the coming weeks. It is intriguing.
Okay, Natalie, thank you.
Oh, my. Ann Bremner, a very interesting story. Again, back in Florida, i.e. Casey Anthony. Again, right. A woman murdering somebody, or at least in this case, trying to murder somebody. But now they're saying, the defense is saying that, no, this was some kind of a big show, and everybody was in on it. The police were in on it. One problem, there's no text messages. There's nothing to substantiate this allegation from the defense. What is your take on this whole case?
I think it's going to be really tough. But, just like you said, no text messages, nothing to substantiate this claim. I mean, if you're getting ready for some reality show or movie or, anything else, you're scripting something, there's going to be some evidence of that and other witnesses. And I don't know. I mean, I think it's pretty gutsy to put on a defense like this. When she's caught on tape and she wants to kill him. And I actually thought her reaction when she heard he was dead sounded staged. I mean, maybe she's a good actress, but I think she's just got a, tough case. And the other thing is, I always think all the weird crimes happen in Florida and in my state. It's like the two opposite ends of the United States get some of the stranger cases. We had Ted Bundy and the Green River Killer, et cetera. Yeah, and Mary Kay Letourneau. I mean, but in Florida, you just see some of the strangest cases in 7 years. I mean, that's a lot longer than her marriage lasted. Wasn't it 6 months?
Right, and is it true that Ted Bundy, I believe, passed the lie detector test? And that's one of the reasons why it can't be used in court, right?
Yeah, my ex-husband represented him, and yes, he passed a lie detector test. Ted Bundy, of all people.
Oh, my. Okay, Alex Sanchez, weigh in.
This case, I feel like laughing with this case. Who are these people? Who are these people that were organizing this reality TV show? Where are they? I mean, you know, there's something in the law called recent fabrication, right? And recent fabrication means that somebody comes up with some type of story that they did not previously tell anybody about. Now, she was on trial once before. This business about being on a reality TV show and somebody giving her a script, that never came up. It only came up several years later. And that's what we call a recent fabrication. And the prosecution is allowed now to bring up the fact that she never brought this up before. And in the absence of any type of evidence or these so-called mysterious people that were trying to get this reality TV show off the ground, you know, this woman's sunk. And I'd like to know whether or not she's the one that came up with this defense or whether or not others have created this defense for her. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but, you know, legal representatives, just in general, they're not allowed to sit around and invent defenses. You can establish a defense based upon the evidence or the lack of evidence that exists in a particular case. But you can't turn around and just create a complete fraudulent defense. I'm not saying that happened here, but if it did happen here and the lawyers were behind it, those lawyers may be held accountable at some point in the future.
And she did start off with her original, that was the original defense, right? In the first trial.
But no, she didn't testify in the first trial. That was not her defense.
That was not her defense?
No, she never brought that up. It's only now, several years later, that she's coming up with this defense. That's what I'm saying. That's why it could be classified as a recent fabrication.
And now, and the defense wants to hear the whole tape. What does that help the defense if they get to hear maybe there's other parts that it just sounds really vicious when she just says that one line, I'm 5,000% sure I want him killed, but there could be something more to it that we don't know.
Sure. I mean, maybe they've alleged that the police work was shoddy. Maybe they want to show that via the video. But also it probably, waters down, the strength for the prosecution of that kind of a statement from her if you hear the whole conversation. And finally, are they going to try and say that she's entrapped in some way, or they're trying to create the crime in her mind? I don't know. I mean, they're basically saying it was, for fiction, so I don't know why they would use entrapment, but because those could be mutually exclusive. But, those kinds of things. They want to basically show everything, warts and all to the jury.
No question about it. We'll see what happens in the upcoming weeks with that trial.
Crazy.
Let's talk about the Erin Andrews stalker trial after this.
Well, the pain was clear on Erin Andrews' face today as the battle began over her $75 million Peeping Tom lawsuit.
It was nearly 8 years ago that she was secretly videotaped naked inside her hotel room. The man who did it served 26 months behind bars. But
now Erin wants the hotel to pay up because she claims they allowed it to happen. We were inside the courtroom in Nashville for the emotional first day of testimony.
Erin, can you comment at all about how you're feeling, how you're doing?
Erin Andrews was focused and at times seemed to fight back tears. She sat in the front row during opening statements, well within the view of the jury.
Part of the reason that it's important for her to have a connection with the jury and for the jury to meet her and see her early is so that they can start to digest who she is, how this has impacted her.
Kelly Rippon from our Nashville affiliate was in the courtroom.
In his opening statement, Erin's attorney presented a frightening scenario. It included showing jurors inside her hotel room at the Nashville Marriott. It also showed the peephole that Michael Barrett used to film her.
Has a view of her without clothes on, puts his telephone up there, he can see it from the other side, and videos her without clothes on.
The 37-year-old sportscaster suing the Nashville Marriott for $75 million. This civil case prompted by a 2008 incident in which Barrett pleaded guilty to stalking and shooting those videos.
I think about it every moment of every day, so that's how it's changed me.
In its opening, the hotel claimed it too was a victim of Barrett.
He deceived, he connived, he
stalked. That's what Mr. Barrett did.